Hello, Gabriel McKee reporting here from my third and final day here at the Cornerstone Festival in Bushnell, Illinois. Yesterday I neglected to mention a couple things when I was talking about some of the differences between the heavier and the quieter music here in terms of theology and whatnot. I was talking about the band Impending Doom, who's a Christian death metal band, and I neglected to mention that they define what they do in their music as Goreship, which is wonderful. I also neglected one interesting thing I saw in the tent. While I was listening to them, I remarked to my friend Justin, who was listening to them with me, that the gut reaction when I hear death metal music is to throw up the horns if I'm enjoying it. And that was something that obviously is not necessarily going to happen at a Christian music festival. So I saw at one point some audience members did have their fists in the air, and I saw one hand do this and then quickly pull them back down. Oh wait, I forgot. So that was an interesting little thing that I saw. I want to contrast that with the music of David Bazan, who was the front man of the band Pedro the Lion, and now does solo acoustic things. And in contrast to the earnestness of a lot of the hardcore and metal music here, where it's very conservative and it's very much they want to make the message clear. The music of a lot of the more indie bands here and then the indie musicians is much more ambivalent. And I want to quote from a line from a David Bazan song that he played last night, just to kind of illustrate that. From the song When We Fell, this is I believe it's the last line in the song. If you knew what would happen and you made us just the same, then you, my Lord, can take the blame. And the chorus of that song, if I'm recalling it correctly, is actually, did you push us when we fell? And it just shows a very, very different and much more complex attitude towards spirituality than a lot of the heavier bands are taking, a lot of the heavier and more conservative bands. And that kind of ties in with what I was saying about how hardcore as a musical genre really does historically have this kind of message before the music kind of thing, where it's what they're saying that's more important than in many ways than anything else. I think you see that in particular with bands like Earth Crisis, who sound an awful lot like a lot of the bands here. Anyway, besides that, I wanted to talk about one of the more interesting groups that I saw in the exhibitor tent, which is where there are vendors, but there are also like mission groups and things like that. And there's a group here who puts out a zine called Death to the World. And this is something that I really did not expect to see here at Cornerstone at all. They're a Greek Orthodox group. The zine is published by kids from the punk scene, but it was founded by a pair of Orthodox monks in Northern California who had a punk background and really wanted to reach out to that community. And to do that, they kind of adapted this Greek monastic concept of being dead to the world to a punk setting. And so here we have this zine that looks in many ways like your standard punk fanzine. For instance, look at this, The Age of Absurdity. You'd think that this might just be, an article about some punk band or other. It's actually a text by the Orthodox theologian Seraphim Rose. So they're really fascinating. I did pick up a few copies of their zine to look through. Unfortunately, I have not yet had a chance to go to their tent in the camping area, the Chapel of the Burning Bush, where they're actually doing Greek Orthodox prayer services. So that was something that was really surprising to me. I did not expect to find punk monks at Cornerstone, and I'm very pleased that I did. So anyway, reporting from the Cornerstone Festival, this is Gabriel McKee.